I understand that a lot of people have the spirit and protest music is a great thing. But there was this one protest song that I came across and I don't like it. I'm going to play it for you. It's real. This starts off with a real protest song. You may have come across it. It's been shared on Now This with the caption, "This protest song gave me chills." And this is the song. You ready?
Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down.
So let me tell you why I don't like that. We're not even getting into the AI yet, because this isn't AI. Let me tell you why I don't like that. First and foremost, whatever people want to sing at a protest and whatever is moving them and whatever is meaningful to them, have at it. This is nitpicky maybe. This is also not with the full context of what happened at that protest or where that song is from. So if that's a real protest song and that's a real clip like it looks like, because it sounds like it, right? I just want to say that first and foremost. I don't know the full context and I'm not judging. But I don't like this protest song because the message of it it lacks oomph, doesn't it? We won't be silent while our friends are gunned down, okay? We won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Sometimes you have protest chants and it's like, yo, the people united will never be defeated. Clear, succinct message. Burn this shit down. If we don't get it, shut it down, right? Like these types of chants, okay? You hear them often if you're at these protests, if you're at these rallies, marches. And they have a succinct message and they have a clear deliverable. If we don't get it, shut it down. If Gaza doesn't get peace, we shut it down, right? That kind of thing. The people united will never be defeated. Statement of clarity. The people must unite because without uniting, we can be defeated. But when we unite, we're not defeated, okay? We won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. I would hope not, right? Like that seems like a very weak deliverable. What do you mean you won't be silent when your friends are being gunned down? Like, yeah, well, you're gonna shout, ah? Is that what the message is? I don't know if this is me being nitpicky, guys. Like, if that's a problem, like, let me know. I just personally would have felt a little bit uncomfortable with that song. People talk about this idea of like, we won't be silent, we won't be silenced. And like, yes, silence is complicity. These kinds of messages are useful. But when you're using it within a phrase, specifying what is happening that you won't be silent about, it goes from, oh, I won't be silenced, silence is complicity, to, I will make noise if this thing happens. And I don't mean to make light of this, but what you're basically just saying is like, yeah, if you shoot my friends and kill them, I will make noise about it, which is like the least threatening thing ever. Like who just... I don't want to sound like I'm being a hater. I've just created 1,000 Jesse Wells. Ash Cryptid, I appreciate you putting that into words because that also felt off to me. Right. It feels off. It feels like we're trying to merge together different ideas from like relevant things happening and protests, chants, or slogans that we know about. And we didn't think too deeply about how we put those things together and like what it means overall. It just kind of sounded good. The second thing I don't like about it is that it's basically like a pop hook. It starts with, hey-oh, we won't be silent, and it's... I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but like, listen again, right?
Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down.
It also and you could see that it's kind of hard to animate people with because it's like people have like no emotion while they're singing behind it. You can see that a lot of people are like older folks too, and they may not understand. Like older white folks may have a little bit of trouble with that rhythm. It's got a hey-oh in it, and it's like emphasizing a kind of melodicness that maybe doesn't really translate to a group of people chanting. Maybe it would sound better as a song itself. Maybe, that kind of melody and that style of songwriting is clearly lifted from pop music, from the hey-oh on. There's a reason pop songs don't make for good chants. It's because they're meant to be sung by an individual. And just because you substitute the I for we doesn't make that any different. A chant, again, is supposed to invoke a specific cutting message and something that is simple for everybody to chant. It is something that, or when everybody sings it together, it has this power to it. Yeah, it is kind of depressing, right? Danae says it sounds like campfire music. It's a melody borrowed from the Out Here Brothers' Boom Boom Boom. I don't know what that song is. I don't know if there's any like really important relevance to it as far as the recent events in Minnesota. But it strikes me as toothless. It's not galvanizing. It does have a chilling effect, right? That's true. Yeah, it feels like a funeral dirge, not the Hey O. It's just not it for me, right? But at least that's people singing, I think. I can't see any mouths moving, but at least that is ostensibly a group of people singing at a protest. And if that's what the spirit told them to do, then they did it. What really bothers me is seeing this later on.
Sirens in the night, people asking why we stand here together, we won't pass it by. Hey, oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey, oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down.
You know, so this is an AI song. You can see that the image is AI. You can tell sometimes that a song is AI because there's not an artist. This is some random channel. And instead of describing like how the song came about or who made the song, it's a description of like what the song is and means, usually paired with messages that people should sing it and share it. So there's no overt declaration that this is AI. And so I'm 98% sure that the music itself is AI. But we can assume, right? The 98% is a pretty large percentage. It is Christian coded. It is a Lumineers ass song. People were comparing it to the Hunger Games song or the Hunger Games soundtrack. And the thing is, like, the hanging tree from the Hunger Games, it's a folk song. Are you coming to the tree? That whole thing, it's a folk song. So the whole reason why there was that ominous singing of that old folk song is because it's an old folk song, not because it's like a real protest song or that it has like this very charged message. It was literally, you know, representing in the film and in the book, this group of people getting together and singing this song that has this important message about oppression. That's not necessarily something that you can just recreate. You know, if everybody got together and was singing A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke, then yeah, like that would be a similar kind of thing. Or was singing, you know, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. If they were singing that in a crowd, then that would be the equivalent of what the hanging tree was in the Hunger Games. But trying to recreate that vibe by making a song in 2026 that is supposed to evoke old folk songs being sung in a chant together so that you can sing it at a march. This is just very, very bad logic and very commodifiable logic. We're thinking about aesthetics, we're thinking about aura, we're thinking about hype and aura moments, instead of thinking practically about music and art and chants that can bring people together. So someone speaking apparently was trying to get others to sing this at a recent protest, not sure which came first. I think it was a bad move. I don't want this to stick. I don't think it will stick because it's just not the kind of thing that you can just do. It's fetch. It is very fetch, okay? They're trying to make a thing happen that fundamentally would be based on a thing that has already happened being recalled. You know what I mean? El Pueblo Unido is too based. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about Latin music too, right? Because I don't think I have to get into detail about why making AI music itself is questionable, why it eats up space for real artists, human beings, why it's not art itself. Maybe if the AI, I don't know exactly how AI for music generation works, if it's the same type of destructive force in the sense of how many data centers are being built to accommodate it. I don't know if that's the same technology, but regardless, this is not human. And so not only is that insulting to other artists, it is especially insulting in the context of trying to make protest music. The whole point of why protest music is powerful is because it's human, right? And what the digital age has done is that it has destroyed a lot of people's ability to think about the human element first. They're only thinking about the hype and aura moment and being like, guys, you know what would be sick in a TikTok is if you all sang this, instead of thinking like, what will motivate the people? What emerges naturally from the people? What message is being communicated to others, to the people in charge, by the people? It feels lifeless. It feels unhuman. And unfortunately, this is not a singular phenomenon. I came across this other channel by somebody named R. Castillo. And his description of his channel is Desde joven la música me llamó. Basically, he's saying he was making music since he was young. He was interested in rap. He was initiated into rap in 2007. He was a producer from 2010 to 2022. He was making beats. And then in 2025, he went back to it, fusing his essence with his roots. He's active. He's looking for opportunities and collaborations. And he says, tellingly, the songs that I upload are demos to show my lyrics, and they're available for other artists to use to put their magic. So you can see that the image is clearly AI. This is AI, okay? I know at first it looks really cool and sparkly. This is an AI image, and it has like an AI video image associated with it. And it's for a song called El Corrido de Alex Preti. A corrido is a type of music that is regional to like the northern region of Mexico that emerges from the people that got associated a lot with drug trafficking, narco corridos, that genre. It's quite popular in that region of Mexico, right? And the goal here is this person made a song for the victim of the ICE shooting in Minnesota.
24 de enero, la fecha está marcada. En Minneapolis corre una brisa helada. No eran criminales ni gente malvada. Era Alex Preti, accionó de volada.
And it sounds like a real song. So I'm less certain that this is like an AI song than the last one. But this is the thing, right? The description on his channel, the AI image, the very clean sound of this, the quick turnaround, the fact that there's not really credits that we can assign with anything. It's all red flags for this being an AI song. And it's especially gross because you're taking an image of a dead person, a person whose life was taken away from him, a person who has family, who has to see this on the internet. And you're throwing his image into machines that literally copy images on the internet and spurn them out for profit for a group of billionaires that are part of what make the system like this, that destroy the environment to build data centers in order to do this. And you're using that technology to fashion a song that seems like a powerful protest song, but in actuality doesn't come from you. It's not human, it's not real art. And on top of everything else, you can see that the intention is promoting yourself in a weird way because you've said yourself, like, these are demos that showcase what I can do and other artists can use them. And I don't want to say like this is completely done with bad intentions. I think a lot of people do this with honest intentions. I actually want to take a second to speak in Spanish because I also don't want this to be looking like this, American gringo, like shitting on a Latino for using technology, whatever. Yo creo que es muy normal con la gente latina tener una idea de presentar el arte con una imagen muy limpia y sin imperfecciones. Y hay una creencia muy normal de creer que uno no tiene el talento de convertir sus ideas en arte. Y eso no es el caso. Especialmente con arte para las protestas, las canciones revolucionarias, es demasiado importante que los cantantes sean reales, que se origen en una expresión humana. Porque estamos hablando de cosas humanas, tú sabes. Y especialmente cuando esa tecnología se está usando para destruir comunidades, destruir nuestro ambiente. Estas cosas, esas tecnologías deben ser protestadas también. Y si no, solamente estamos convirtiendo las emociones reales y los movimientos en productos, en cosas para comprar y consumir, como canciones de pop. Y eso es especialmente problemática, puedo decir. Yo lo veo mucho en las comunidades del tercer mundo, no se puede decir, de América Latina. Se ven esa tecnología como algo que se puede salvar la gente, pero no funciona así. I'll just leave it there for now. For Latinos, it's very normal to just think, oh, look at this technology. It can make me make a pop song. It can make me make a Christian Nodal song. That's good. Let me use that. Because we're taught to hate ourselves as human beings. We have this idea that our imperfections are problematic and that we should try to roboticize ourselves because we don't think that something that just emerges from us is anything of worth. Something that just emerges from a regular person, from, Chiapas or from somebody norteño in the north could be something of value that should be shared to people. But it's the opposite. It's the fact that something emerges from a person from anywhere who may not have the most beautiful voice by conventional standards, by Western standards, who may not be the most beautiful person by conventional standards, who might not have the most expensive production. That realness is what carries the music. And that realness is what we have to fight for. And unfortunately, I think even with good intentions, people will do the opposite. People take these social movements and they turn them into movements with which that they can promote technology that destroys us when we use it this way. That we can promote the idea that our humanity is not good enough. That's so counter-revolutionary, I can't even express it. Protest music is often very raw. Like, look at this. I think this speaks to the point of multiple things that I've just talked about. Dave Matthews, who has always been pretty down, did a performance of Neil Young's Ohio, which, as this describes, is a song about the National Guard shooting 13 unarmed students who are peacefully protesting in 1970, the Kent State shootings, right? And while he's performing the song, he interpolates Rage Against the Machine. So, is Dave Matthews this stereotypically beautiful Western man? No, he's a regular looking dude. Is he playing anything complex with his guitar? No, he's playing basic chords that you can learn in a day, even if you don't really play guitar. His voice is pretty nice, but is it like operatic? Is it something amazing? No, it's amazing in the sense of that it's natural, it comes from him, but it's regular at the same time. This is somebody's uncle. Dave Matthews' whole appeal at this point is that he's somebody's uncle. And the songs are simple. And what's the message of the chant? What's the message of the songs? 4 dead in Ohio, 4 dead in Ohio. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. It's not trying to be pretty. It's not trying to be accessible for pop radio, because that's not the point. The point is invigorating people through human connection. That's what art is supposed to be about. And so it's really, really letting me down to see so many people sharing that, hey, oh, I won't be silent when my friends are, sharing that shit in posts about news, because they don't even recognize that it's AI, right? Or even if they do, they don't think that that's a big deal. This is how we make our movements toothless. This is how we defang our movements. This is how we dehumanize ourselves. This is how we buy in to the same corporate bullshit that funds these agencies, that funds Palantir, that funds police forces, ICE, that owns our society. We just keep giving it to them. We just keep convincing ourselves that we're not good enough. Alico says there's a lot of really cool fiber artists working now from Mexico City. They're making some incredible urban landscapes. There are so many amazing artists from Latin America who, not just now, but throughout history, have been making really amazing art, not just because they fit a conventional standard of what prettiness is or what's a beautiful voice, but because they're putting forward humanistic messages. We have some examples here. This is an old performance of Los Tigres del Norte from a song called Somos Más Americanos, and they bring forward Zach de la Rocha, who is the lead singer of Rage Against the Machine. He's of part Mexican heritage, right? And they sing this song. It's basically a song about being more American than Americans, a song about who the land belongs to, who belonged to the land before it was taken from them by colonialism. Somos más americanos. That song. But look at these other examples, right? So this is an old song by Victor Jara called El Derecho de Vivir en Paz that people are just singing, regular people are just singing in the street, right? Is this like a beautifully produced pop song? No. Are all these people supermodels? No. These are regular people that brought their guitars out. Many of them probably don't play the guitar that well. The point isn't that you fit a standard. The point is that you are human. And the more that you can show through your vulnerability and your humanity, the more powerful the message is. This is a performance of El Pueblo Unido Jamás Será Vencido by Sergio Ortega. And look at the whole crowd singing along, right? Do you see the difference? Think about the emotion that these people are singing with. Thinking about the emotion that these people are singing with, think about how vulnerable that moment is. When you show your vulnerability, that is when you confirm your own humanity. This is what the Morbid Zoo was talking about in her video about sinners, right? I'm really tired of us just letting AI take up space in marginalized communities under this guise of, oh, it's actually empowering because it's just a way that I don't have what other people had. I have a beautiful voice. I can't play guitar, but I have ideas and I get to put those ideas out there. I hear this, from family members, okay? It's not fucking cool. It's not. It's muddying the waters. It makes you look incompetent. It makes you look powerless. It makes you look like you need the technology that powerful people give you so that you can be of worth, instead of having your own body and your own spirit and that being enough. And I just think that commodification of protest culture in general in the United States is a big contributing factor to this. We let these media systems teach us that protests are supposed to be pretty. We let these media systems show us images of protests from movies stripped of context. We let them show us pop stars who are so beautiful with their auto-tuned perfect voices. And we let them model to us that that is what human perfection is about. That is what humanity is about trying to achieve that type of perfection. We let them model to us that that is what we should look up to. And they hid from us these histories. They hid from us punk music. They hid from us Nazi punks fuck off. They hid from us Rage Against the Machine. They hid from us the origins of a change is gonna come. They hid from us all of these legacies, all these ways in which music was a force that united people genuinely. And they subverted it into a new type of commodity. And it sickens me. It makes me sick. So again, I have to encourage everybody. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you look like. It doesn't matter what you sound like. Put something together. Even if it's digital, even if it's just a Fruity Loops beat, even if it's something you make in GarageBand, or if it's just a few chords on a guitar, make your art. That is what is going to help change the world. It's not going to be enough on its own, but it's powerful. It means something. And people need it because they need to be reminded of the value that humanity has, the value that life has, the value that organisms have, the value that nature has. That is enough, and that is enough of being deserving of respect, enough of being deserving of resources, deserving of a place to sleep, deserving of food to fill ourselves with. That's enough. It's not even having the typical abled human body. You could be disabled in many ways, and you're still worthy of that human life. You could have no voice. You could be unable to speak, unable to sing, and still be able to express something artistic. You could be any type of person. And by being vulnerable and expressing yourself, you reassert the value of your own existence, the value of your humanity. But if you just sit back and let these people define it for you with their shiny bullshit technology, instead of thinking about how to subvert what they're asking you, I think you're just going to fall into the same problems over and over again.